Arman had always believed himself to be cleverer than most men. A rising executive at a multinational firm, he carried himself with the polish of success: tailored suits, an expensive watch, and a smile that could melt away suspicion. But beneath his perfect image lurked a dangerous secret: his mistress, Sana. Sana was younger, bold, and loved the luxuries Arman could provide. With her, he felt alive, admired, and reckless. Their meetings took place in discreet cafes or in rented apartments, but lately Sana had grown restless. "Arman," she whispered one evening, tracing her finger along the rim of her wine glass, "I'm tired of cheap places. Don't I deserve something better? You said I'm your queen. Take me to a 5-star hotel, just once." Arman hesitated. His wife, Zara, came from an influential family. Their marriage wasn't born from passion, but from business ties. Still, Zara was kind, devoted, and the reason Arman even had access to some of the powerful connections he now enjoyed. Yet temptation was stronger. Arman smirked and replied, "All right. Tomorrow night, the most luxurious hotel in the city. No one will know." Sana's eyes gleamed with triumph. The next evening, Arman pulled up in his sleek black Mercedes outside the Imperial Grand Hotel, the crown jewel of luxury in the city. Its glass facade shimmered under the nightlights, and valets rushed forward to open his door. Sana stepped out in a crimson dress, her heels clicking against the marble floor as they entered the grand lobby. Chandeliers sparkled above them, and a pianist played softly in the corner. "Now this," she whispered, clutching Arman's arm, "is what I deserve." Arman grinned, checking them in under a false name. He had planned everything: the suite overlooking the city, champagne chilling on ice, rose petals scattered across silk sheets. As they entered the suite, Sana twirled around, arms wide, drinking in the opulence. "Arman, you're spoiling me," she purred, pulling him close. For hours, laughter and whispers filled the room. Arman felt untouchable, as though the world belonged to him. But fate, cruel as ever, had prepared a shock he never saw coming. The next morning, as sunlight streamed through the curtains, Arman dressed in haste. He had a meeting later, but Sana begged him to order breakfast in bed. With a sigh, he picked up the phone. Moments later, a knock came at the door. Expecting a waiter, Arman casually opened it and froze. Standing there, elegant in a navy suit, hair pinned neatly, and eyes sharp with authority, was his wife, Zara. "Good morning," she said coolly. "I see you've made yourself comfortable. Mr. Malik." Arman's throat went dry. Sana sat up in bed, clutching the sheets to her chest, confusion painted across her face. "Zara, what are you doing here?" he stammered. Her lips curved into a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "What am I doing here?" "Oh, nothing much. Just inspecting my new property. As of last night, the Imperial Grande Hotel is mine." The room fell silent, except for the thundering of Arman's heart. Zara stepped inside, her heels echoing against the polished floor. She glanced around the suite, her gaze landing on the champagne glasses, the rose petals, and finally, Sana. "I never thought you'd be foolish enough to bring another woman into my hotel," she said, her voice icy. Sana gasped, turning to Arman. "Your wife? You told me she was just a boring housewife." Arman's face turned crimson. He tried to speak, but Zara raised a hand. "I knew something was wrong for months," she continued. "The late nights at the office, the sudden business trips. Do you think I wouldn't notice? So I waited. I didn't want to confront you until I was ready. And now..." She gestured around. "Now the stage is perfect." Arman's knees weakened. He had underestimated his wife, always quiet, always supportive, yet far sharper than he'd realized. Sana wrapped herself in the silk sheet, glaring at Zara. "You think you can walk in here and act superior just because you own this hotel? He doesn't love you. He loves me." Zara laughed, a sound so cold it sliced through the air. "My dear, if he loved you, he wouldn't have hidden you and stolen ours. He gave you scraps of his time while I built his world for him." Sana faltered, but her pride kept her from retreating. She clung to Arman's arm. "Tell her, Arman. Tell her you're leaving her for me." Arman opened his mouth, but no words came. He looked between the two women, the mistress demanding validation, the wife holding all the power. His silence betrayed him. Zara shook her head. Pathetic. You can't even defend the woman you risked everything for. By now, the hotel staff had gathered discreetly in the hallway, whispering. Word spread fast. The new owner had caught her husband with another woman. The humiliation seared Armin's pride. Zara, please, he whispered urgently. Let's talk about this in private. But Zara stood firm. There is nothing to discuss. This hotel is mine, the business connections are mine, and soon, the divorce settlement will ensure that everything else is mine too. You, Armand, have nothing left to bargain with. She handed him an envelope. His hands shook as he opened it, revealing divorce papers. You'll sign these, she said, quietly, or the entire city will know about this little escapade in tomorrow's papers. After all, the staff here are loyal to me now. Sana gasped. You can't do this. We love each other. Love? Zara cut in sharply. He loved my money. He loved your youth. Neither of those lasts. Part 7. The fall Armin's world crumbled. He had played with fire, believing himself untouchable, and now stood stripped of everything, his dignity, his wealth, his marriage. He turned to Sana for comfort, but she pulled away, her face twisted with anger. I didn't sign up for this. I thought you were powerful, rich. If you're losing everything, then what do I get? And just like that, she stormed out, leaving him alone with the wife he had betrayed. Zara picked up the room key card and tossed it on the table. This suite is no longer yours. Pack your things. Security will escort you out. Armin's knees buckled. Zara, please, don't do this. I made a mistake. Her eyes softened for a moment, then hardened again. No, Armin. You made a choice. And now you'll live with it. Part 8. The aftermath. News of the scandal spread like wildfire. Business partners withdrew, unwilling to be tied to a man disgraced so publicly. Sana vanished from his life, moving on to another wealthy suitor. Zara, on the other hand, flourished. As the new owner of the Imperial Grande, she became a symbol of strength and independence. People admired her resilience, how she turned betrayal into empire. At charity galas and corporate events, she walked with her head held high, never once glancing at the man who had once been her husband. And Armand? He was last seen sitting alone in a small cafe, suit wrinkled, eyes hollow, staring at the life he had thrown away for a fleeting affair. Morale. When arrogance blinds a man, he mistakes loyalty for weakness and betrayal for victory. But the truth always finds its way to the surface, and sometimes it arrives wearing heels, carrying ownership papers.